Cool. All right, I think I'm there. That is sharing. I have sound. I have a clicker. Cool. Just in the break, I was having a chat with some new people here. I think there's some new faces at the back, and it reminded me of Stuart's talk straight away that as developers and technology leaders, you all have something to offer in this community. So shout out to Stuart's talk and hi to the new faces. So, good evening. Welcome to my talk on prompting change. Sorry, let's get another window out of the way. How to successfully adopt AI in your organisation. So here is a bit tired about hearing about AI in theory. Yeah, cool. I have no code examples. I'm not telling you what to use or how to use it. This is just a talk on how to adopt AI. It's about putting generative AI into practice, how we actually went through the process of fostering AI adoption across our team. So here at Luminary, we have 85 team members, probably more, I lose track. Half of those are developers, the rest are support roles. So hi, I'm Andrew. I'm the CIO here at Luminary. There were some questions before I wanted to cover off. Luminary is a B Corp. M should shout that out. And my superpower can be found in a karaoke booth at 1 a.m. So my core responsibilities include safeguarding our operations, ensuring compliance, all the exciting things, adhering to our client agreements, and that's what we did before rolling anything out. I was excited to introduce AI into our teams as an assistive technology, something to help our team members, not replace our team members. It's not one of our core tenets here at Luminary. Our goal was for a clear and effective adoption path. That's why I'm here today, to share a brief insight into some practical tips from our adoption journey, hoping to assist those of you considering AI adoption plan in your own teams. So here works somewhere where they had a cohesive AI adoption plan for the whole organisation, not just the development team, use Copilot, like the whole organisation had, we're told what tools to use, that was communicated how, they shared training with you. I'm talking about the AI that's available in the software you use right now. Is there any? There's a couple of hands. Come talk to me after this talk. For those of you that haven't experienced a cohesive AI adoption plan in your organisation or teams, then I'm going to give you a high-level sense of how we approached AI adoption at Luminary. So before we did all that, the first thing we did was we enabled Gemini Chat window for our domain. We told everyone in Slack. There's a few thumbs up, and then we waited for all the magic to happen. And nothing happened like the clicker. Nothing happened. No one used it, and the small examples of what we saw in documents and the emails getting sent to our clients, the results weren't great, and they were definitely not up to the standards we hold ourselves to at Luminary. So we had to go back to the drawing board. We had to come up with an adoption plan. We had to define our AI strategy, we had to define our objectives, and we had to define how we were going to adopt it. So here's our strategy. To integrate AI into existing processes to enhance efficiency and or quality while maintaining a human-centered approach that prioritises privacy and responsible use. Now, what that means to us at Luminary is enhance efficiency. I'm not going to keep repeating this, but not reinventing the wheel. AI to us is an add-on. It's a way to enhance our processes and our team's ability. Quality, if the output is better quality or the same quality for the same amount of time, then that's a win. We have a few core principles at Luminary, and one of them is around being human. So we needed to make sure that it was a human-centered approach, so it was in line with our company values. We don't want to replace everyone with AI. And of course, there's privacy and responsible use. Privacy and responsible to make sure that someone's not uploading all our data into China or Russian LLMs, or even right now, the USA. Assess. The next thing we did is we assessed where our team was at. We sent out a survey to see if they used AI and how often, and what tools they were using and if they had found them helpful. What we found was 90% of our team was using AI in some form, mainly ChatGPT with data training enabled. So we needed to bring that in line with our strategy around privacy. The use of the tools wasn't effective, efficient, and not up to the quality we wanted. In fact, some of our outputs were quite poor. We needed to train our team on providing quality inputs and get the quality outputs we wanted. We had assumed that people were AI literate. So the next step was choosing our tool. We are a Google Workspace organization, so we took the approach of the best tool to use was where your data is. So we enabled and paid for Gemini for Workspace licensing. Some of our developers were using Copilot, but not cohesively, so we licensed the rest of the team. Our next step was to develop and deliver training. Earlier, I told you that we assumed people were AI literate or not providing the training that they needed. I forgot, as a digital agency, we have non-technical roles such as marketers, finance, account managers, all sorts of roles that needed to learn how to use these tools. We had to go all the way back and focus on the foundational skills of using generative AI. Some things that some of us might find obvious now, we had to go back and teach. We need to show people how to master good prompting. Also, who here, if they see a new button in an interface, clicks it straight away? Like I do. If there is a new button, I will click it. Yeah, okay, everyone? Yeah, good. Would you believe that some people don't do that? Yeah, so we have to show them where to click. Otherwise, they're not going to do it themselves. Sounds bad, but they're too scared. Security. So we decided to concentrate on this for a full month. We aptly named it AI August. I didn't name it. That was the brainchild of our training manager at the back. If you work out how to say it, come let me know. Still trying to work it out. We had a full training plan for the month. I don't expect you to read all the content. Just wanted to show you that we had a full plan for our 5 weeks. So the second week was prompt mastery in Gemini and Workspace. We had a training topic for the week. We had our key concepts. We had team challenges. So we would challenge the team and get them to submit and let us know how they went. And we had weekly goals for everyone. We also encouraged the sharing of prompts and use cases in a lot of discussions. We also backed it with prizes for whoever shared the best one. After that, we had to reinforce, remind, and expand. We had an AI strategy group that meets fortnightly to work on the direction and continuous improvement. We still do that now. We continue to have regular training sessions on the tools we have to reinforce what we have already taught. We keep reminding people by sharing how people in the team are using AI and sharing AI new skills in our Slack channels and just keeping that conversation going. We have role-specific training sharing sessions. So I host sessions with our producer team. They share how they're all using it. They have access to Jira AI, so they talk about the pros and cons. We just get the conversation going and keeping it moving. We are also expanding with sessions on Notebook LM, deep research, Jira AI, Copilot agents, AI and pull requests, and AI and design processes. Overall, we know how our team members need the constant reminder and discussion of the tools that they have access to change and adopt new habits. So after that, we resurveyed all our team. This was probably 2-3 months later. And we saw a 32% increase in daily usage, and we saw a lot of improvement in the work that we did. We also saw an increase in the positivity towards using AI. There was a tendency to shy away from AI in our team, but as they saw the leadership teams using it, they felt more comfortable in using it in their work. So, talking about, sorry, that was distracting, but I'm with you. What I want you to take away from this brief talk is don't assume. I made that mistake. ChatGPT was released into the world 2.5 years ago, and I thought everyone knew how to use it. Don't assume that everyone in your organisation knows how to use AI effectively to generate quality outputs, and also to do it responsibly or have your client's privacy in mind, which we found out. Also, invest in your team. AI adoption isn't just about tools and agents, it's about investing in habits, skills, and a culture of responsible use. Start with a clear strategy, assess where your team is, and invest in the training. Generative AI isn't a set and forget tool, enable it, go use it. It's a shift in how people are working. If you get it right, it just doesn't improve efficiency, but you'll future-proof your team. And that's the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. First question, AI in PRs. What worked well and what didn't?
Is this for me or you, Em? It's probably me. I did the testing. We've tried a few. I think we're using CodeRabbit right now. There's a few that just review the code and doesn't really understand it's not really understanding the context of what you're doing and trying to achieve. There's tools out there that will pull in your Jira descriptions and tickets and review it against the code to understand what you were trying to do and tell you if you did it right. They'll also, with the new reasoning and thinking models that are out, like Gemini 2.5, they're really good at telling you, understanding what you were trying to do and telling you what you're trying to do.
Awesome. What privacy concerns does Luminary have with AI?
Good question. It is late at night. We have a few. It is around data. We work with a lot of superannuation companies, financial institutions. So a lot of it's just to make sure that the process is early on, like making sure that no one's downloading, PII into dev environments and things like that first is probably the first thing. Vetting the tools that we used. Most of the big name tools are sort of okay right now because it's bad for business if they're using it to train your data. So they're also very, very aware of that now. But yeah, I could talk along for that.
Yeah. Awesome. Sorry.
I have a question. So how has your implementation plan changed how you're onboarding engineers onto your team?
Hasn't really changed yet, but so we're early on in trying to test IDE agents, so Copilot agent, which is in VS Code Insiders or similar, like if anyone here's used Cursor. I think what I see it doing is it's going to make it easier to onboard people because the AI is really good at just sort of self-documenting and understanding. So, I've seen examples in testing where I've tried to add something to a menu and it's a headless CMS and the agent came back and said, looks like I can't do it here. You need to do it in the CMS. Go to this content item, tick these boxes. So it passes these filters. And so I see it really helping onboarding developers, yeah.
So what I meant was...
sorry.
Sorry, your plan mentioned group activities to, as in within the team to improve and to engage with AI in your organization.
Yeah.
But how is, now that your organization is using AI, do you have that requirement with new incoming engineers, or are you ready to train them as well?
Yeah, we're ready to train them. So everything we do is recorded. We do regular Friday training sessions with our team.
Okay.
Like as a team, we do it in here every Friday, 4:30. We do a training session, not necessarily on AI, but it's every second week on AI. My team's getting a little bit sick of that from me. But yeah, we do train. Yeah, we train that. It's all recorded. We tell them what sections to use. Yeah.
What was your most popular training session in AI, August?
I don't know. I have to go back and see. I think just even the second one or the first one. I think I've done a lot of training sessions here, and I think I had 3 people come up to me at the end of it, and it was just proper prompting, and prompt engineering basically it was, and had 3 or 4 people come up to me and say that was the best session they'd ever had here. So that's what we had to teach. We had to go back and teach the basics of actually just how to talk to how to talk to an AI. Yeah.
Awesome. How did you navigate the ethical implications of using AI, like image generation models, instead of paying actual artists in a digital advertising agency?
Yeah, we're not using it to generate images. We are using it we're going to look at it how to help with design, but not really generating images at this point. So yeah, we understand we understand the ethics of that, but yeah, it's not something we're doing.
One more question. Sorry, I know there's a couple more on there, but you can always come up and talk to Andrew later. Yeah. How to mindfully use AI, as it cannot be correct fully all the time. So how do you do analysis on that?
Yeah, the analysis is hard. It's when you're just using in the tools that you've got. We're not doing deep AI model training or anything like that. So we're not doing any testing like that. It's just, we're not forcing people to use it if it's not faster. If it's not faster, don't use it. If it's not right, don't use it. We're okay putting a hand up and saying it is not the thing to use, or even if it's not the thing to use yet, because what's happened in the last 3 months in reasoning and things like that, it's moving very quickly now. Yeah.
Right. I've been given permission.
Your talk was shorter.
Cool. I'm happy not to answer questions.
Great talk, Andrew, and it's nice to see a good and human-centred approach to the use of AI. Do you think it's made your life as a developer better, worse, or the same?
Hands up, not a developer. I'm a muggle here.
As a person?
As a person.
as a worker?
As a worker and person, I don't develop in it all day, but I do have VS Code open most of the day, doing things like just trying to generate a script to get something from an API endpoint for some data I need. I do it every day for that, and it does save me having to. I do it so little that it's not in my head constantly how to do. So I need that little help just to go. It's just like IntelliSense on steroids is what I feel like. I have a little bit. I don't have to bug anyone.
I'm going to go completely off script here. Can I ask? Anybody who thinks that AI, if you've used it in your job, has actually made it better? And how many people think that it's made it worse? Yeah, and the same? Just carries on. Yeah, awesome. That's really interesting. That was 3-way split. So yeah, cool. The last question is quite interestingly controversial. How do you find Gemini versus ChatGPT?
I think I had this conversation in the break. I've had this argument with people, and then you realise that they're still using Chat 3.5 or something. They're changing so quickly and rapidly. 2.5, they are going to leapfrog over each other. It's not a competition. The competition is the price. They're diving down on price, but for API. But 2.5 Gemini recently, it's reasoning in itself. You don't have, the reasoning models are really good, and they're coming very quickly, and they change daily. So, yeah.
Is that a yes or a no?
For more questions?
I am. Is that a yes or a no, timekeeper, mister?
It's an okay.
Okay, all right. Whoever's question this is, it's a good one. Don't you worry that AI is simply giving people fish instead of teaching them how to fish?
I think it can teach people to fish. with CodeRabbit, I think we've had a couple of comments like, oh, I didn't know that was possible. So yeah, I think it remains to be seen. It can do both. I think it's going to be good for onboarding new people. It's self-documenting, really. You could open a massive code base, and in the future, be able to open a massive code base, ask questions, and get some understanding.
I promise it's not a gotcha.
Hang on, I'm gonna give you the mic because people online can't hear.
Right. I wanted to know, where did you find were the biggest value adds in AI in your processes across the company?
I don't think we've had that big moment yet. It's helped in areas, in little areas, and I think that's what we tried to do at the start. Like, we knew early on we weren't going to transform everything and how we were going to work. So it was just a little help. Like, we have a team in Indonesia. English, English is sometimes a third or fourth language for them.
Oh, yeah.
So they are our top Gmail users for that. Which sometimes our HR rep laughs because their leave requests are quite formal. Have changed. So yeah, enabling that team to be able to write and talk better, because we don't hide them away. Like, they're in our meetings with our clients. They're writing the documents. We don't treat them as an offshoring thing. They're a part of our team. So it was a big change, I think, and positive.
Are there actually workflows where they speak in their own tongue and it gets translated automatically?
No, but Teams does do that now.
Teams does?
Yeah, Teams will translate. But yeah, like the AI part in Teams will do the translation.
Yeah. We've often had communication gap with offshore, and it would be really lovely to narrow down whether it was the language or the culture or both. And
their cultural is probably the biggest one. But I know I've talked about you doing a training session here, is do our training session in Bahasa and then enable the English captions and see how we all cope, because that's what they're doing. But they speak good English, but yeah. Sometimes we just talk too fast for them. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all the questions for now. Thank you very much, Andrew.